Are you coming across Textbroker articles that have confusing briefings? Perhaps you're not sure what to do when the client adds a bunch of reference links in the article. I'm Michael with WriterSanctuary, and today I'm going to talk about some of the things you'll find in an order briefing in Textbroker. An order briefing is where clients will break down what they're looking for. Now, while some of these are pretty quick and easy to understand, some of them have a menagerie of information that you have to sift through. Hopefully I can shed a little bit of light on how to handle these. Now, before we get started, I am going to make a series of these kinds of videos to help you walk through how to accept and submit an order into Textbroker. I'll try to get them out as soon as I can, but my new job of being a content marketing team lead kind of taps the rest of my day. Plus, I have a few other videos I would like to make in the meantime. But the first step to handling Textbroker is understanding the order briefings. Now, order briefings can come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Every client is going to have specifics that they want you to follow. Now, when you write these articles, you want to make sure that you're following the guidelines as close as humanly possible. And some of the best clients on Textbroker will be quite succinct in what they want, and they're pretty easy to write. But what if the order briefing has a few tidbits of confusing information? Or if the client gives you multiple reference links as a guide? Now, do you have to use them all? Not necessarily. Now, most clients will add reference links as more of a guide to show you what they're looking for in the type of work they want from you. That is, unless the client specifically states that they want certain bits of information from each of those reference articles. For the most part, you'll probably just use them as a guide for the topic. For instance, my daily client will send me a few different links to follow as reference point to the type of article she wants me to write. In this case, the client simply shows me the type of content that she's looking for in the article. So if you're writing about a certain person or place and the client adds these to the briefing, you can use them to glean information about the topic. Think of it more like the client is sending you a list of links that you can use so that you don't have to do a Google search regarding the topic, person, or place. This is extremely helpful, especially if they know that you're going to have a hard time trying to find the information yourself. Plus, it eliminates finding the wrong person or place when you're writing the content for the client. Now, I wish I had a screenshot that I could show you, but I couldn't find any when I was going through the Textbroker system earlier today. Though I did find quite a few 4-star open orders that I would probably write if I had more time in my day. But anyway, here's an example of what I'm talking about. What if a client wants you to write about Salem? Are they talking about Salem, Oregon, or Salem, Massachusetts? Now, reference articles regarding specific people are extremely helpful. That way, you're not writing content about somebody else on accident. What if a client wants you to write about a doctor, but you found information about a plumber using the same name? Your article about cleaning pipes would take on a whole new meaning. Now, think of the reference articles as more as a way to understand who it is or what it is that you're writing about. Of course, this greatly depends on the client themselves. Some may want specific information from each one of those reference articles, but usually they'll state that in the order briefing when you accept the order. But if you're ever in any doubt, most of the best clients will accept any kind of message from you. Don't feel odd about getting clarity on an order that you accepted. And if you submit the piece before the client responds, the worst thing that can happen is that he or she will send a revision request, at which point the client may break down exactly what you're supposed to do with a reference article. This is usually the route that I take simply because I don't want a single order tying up my Textbroker. Until you finish that one piece, you can't pick up any more orders. And since I'm striving to make as much money as possible, I need to be fast, which means I need to get the orders out as soon as I can. So I'll err on the side of assumption and hope that the client likes it. And in most cases, the client just accepts the order and doesn't even message me back. But anyway, from a managerial standpoint, I would much rather have my staff ask me specific questions about a job rather than do it incorrectly and have to fix it later. And a lot of the clients on Textbroker feel the same way. And this is especially true if the directions are extremely jumbled or hard to understand. Now, you got to keep in mind that a lot of clients that use Textbroker don't write English all that well, which is why they're hiring writers. Some clients will use links in the order briefing to show what kind of style they want. This means they want something that looks and feels similar to the reference article that they give you the link for. And sometimes this means the headings, the paragraph, sentence length, and the type of content that's within that article that they would like to see in their own. In this regard, the reference article is more like a sample of what they would like their article to look like. Just make sure you don't outright copy the reference article. What about keyword use? A lot of jobs in Textbroker will have a specific keyword tied to them. This is a phrase or word that the client wants to see within the article a certain amount of times. But what if there is no grammatical way to input their phrase into your article? And because Textbroker will not let you submit the order unless you put it in exactly how the client wants it, you're stuck. That is, unless the client opts to use some of the other SEO techniques that are in the order, but you'll see those later. Well, you have a couple of options. First, you can try to force the key phrase into the article and then message the client and let them know what happened and that you cannot put it in this way. Or you can add the grammatically correct version of the key phrase into the article and then put the client's key phrase at the very bottom on its own line so that they can see the difference. This way the Textbroker system will at least let you submit the order because the keyword technically is in there. But if you opt to do this, make sure you write the client and let them know what's going on. And lastly, you can message the client directly and ask them exactly how they want you to put it in there, even though it's grammatically incorrect. Well, the problem with this, though, is that you wind up tying up your Textbroker article until the client writes you back, so you really can't do anything until you get an answer. Personally, I've done it all three ways for different clients. Everybody wants it a specific way, but you really won't know until you either submit it or contact the client, unfortunately. But what if the briefing is absurdly long? When writing on Textbroker, I keep an eye on the clock. I am paid for production, and if I want to get $25 an hour on Textbroker, I need to get the orders out as quickly as possible. This means that if I come across an order that has an absurdly long briefing, chances are I'm going to pass it up. Now, sometimes I'll use the link on the order briefing so I can rate how they're describing the order to me. Now this helps the client understand that he or she may be asking for far too much out of a writer. Then I'll move on to something that's more quick and easy. There's a caveat to that, though. You don't want to spend all your time looking for that perfect order. In the end, you could wind up spending more time looking for that order that you want to complete rather than just reading through the long order briefing in the first place. Now this aspect is completely up to you on what you're comfortable with. Just keep in mind that every moment that you're not writing is one that you're not getting paid. Now in the end, it's difficult to say what exactly is the best approach when dealing with Textbroker clients and how they create their order briefings. This is because every client is different. I wish I had some better advice to give you, but it really all boils down to who is creating the order. This is one of the reasons why I always push Textbroker writers to communicate with their clients. Not only does it help clarify some of the order briefings anyway, but there's a good chance that you might get a direct order client out of it. A lot of clients will understand that when you take that initiative that you're trying to be professional, and a lot of them are looking for that kind of writer. In fact, I've gained quite a few direct order clients simply because I was communicative. Just remember that some of the clients are going to be super anal, while some of them are going to be super relaxed. The spectrum of clients on Textbroker is quite robust. So what's the weirdest order briefing you've ever come across in Textbroker? Leave in the comments down below. Probably my weirdest experience was a few years ago when a client wanted me to create an article written as a pregnant black woman. As odd as that sounds, I was able to pull it off and the client gave me excellent rating all the way down. But I think that was probably one of the weirdest ones. I've had quite a few though, so it's kind of hard to tell exactly which one is my favorite, but that one always sticks out in my mind the most. If you find the video informative, hit the like button. If you want to learn more about Textbroker, freelance writing, or any of the other topics that I cover, hit the subscribe button and make sure you turn on the bell on the notifications. A few people haven't been getting them, so I don't know what's up with Textbroker, Textbroker. A few people haven't been getting notifications when I publish, even though they clicked it, so I don't know what's up with YouTube, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for me today, and I'll see you tomorrow.